On today's episode, I thought we could do a quick mock draft roundup. Look at what all the NFL draft gurus and experts are predicting that Denver does with the 20th overall pick. But remember, hit that like button to start today's episode if you have not already. Let's start by checking out what Mel Kiper from ESPN and Dane Brugler from The Athletic have Sean and George Payton selecting with the 20th overall pick, and that is Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. Not a big surprise right here. We've talked a lot about Jeanty, but I do want to bring a different perspective, a new angle at the Jeanty conversation. I'm not going to spend the next 2 to 3 minutes just telling you all Jeanty is awesome. We all know Ashton Jeanty is awesome, right? We don't need that to be reiterated time and time again. The numbers speak for themselves, what he was able to do last year for the Broncos at Boise State, his entire career. He's not just a good rusher. He has shown plenty of receiving capabilities, and I think he's a better receiver than people give him credit for. It's just that he was never used that way because every time they handed the football to him, he ran like 60 yards and scored a touchdown. So I do think there are some receiving upsides to Jeanty's game. But the thing that a lot of people are getting stuck on is pointless, waste of time. He'll never fall to pick number 20. I'm not so sure about that. Not that I've got a crystal ball and I can tell you guys where Jeanty is or is not going to go. But we are talking about the most unpredictable thing really in sports. The NFL draft. So let's relook at the NFL draft order. I don't think Jeanty is going to be a top 5 pick. Now, 6 through 10, I could see the Bears having some interest, pairing him with Caleb Williams. Their ground game was one of the worst in football last year. So that's a definite possibility. The Cowboys at 12, this does seem like a Jerry Jones type move. Everyone's mad at me. So let's draft someone that's going to sell a lot of jerseys and score some touchdowns. That could definitely be a play. But after the Cowboys, Dolphins no, Colts no, Falcons no, Cardinals no, Bengals maybe, but I don't think so. They have to work on their defense. Joe Burrow is pretty good himself. I don't think he needs a star running back. Seattle no, Buccaneers no. They like Bucky Irving. He had an awesome rookie year. So there's really only one team, 2 teams as things stand right now in front of Denver. So I am not going to say there is a 0% chance that Jeanty falls to Denver at 20. Do not get sucked into NFL draft range. Go back 3 years from now. We're going into the 2022 NFL draft. Does anyone anticipate at this point in the calendar of the pre-draft process that Trayvon Walker is going to be the first overall pick? No, that was a late bloomer. That was a late riser from the combine. Things change, okay? Last year, we had one of the biggest surprises of all. Not a single defender went in the first 14 picks. It wasn't until Indianapolis took Laiatu Latu 15th overall. Who predicted that? Nobody. But if I told you before the draft, not a single defender is going to go picks 1 through 14, you'd all say I was lying. Christian Gonzalez, he was supposed to be a top 10 pick. He fell all the way to 17. Go look at those old mock drafts. Almost everyone had him going top 10, no later than top 12. Justin Fields was supposed to be a top 10 pick. The Bears were so surprised that he was even there, they traded 2 firsts to move up for him. Justin Jefferson falls all the way to 22 behind Jalen Reagor. This stuff happens. So I implore you to not get sucked into it's impossible, Jeanty can't fall to 20. You don't know that. The teams don't even know who they're picking yet. Also, I have zero concern over the lack of competition. That has been not a major talking point, but it's been brought up one too many times. Are we forgetting that, this guy named Chris Johnson who rushed for 2,000 yards went to ECU? Or Matt Forte, one of the most dynamic, versatile backs in the game, played at Tulane? Michael Turner, Northern Illinois, Doug Martin, Alfred Morris playing at Group of 5 schools as well. You can get good running backs that don't play in the SEC, the Big 12, the Big 10, even the ACC, be nice to them, and RIP the Pac-12. So, yes, you can find a good running back that did not play at a traditional powerhouse school. That is not a concern for me. If you want a genuine concern over Ashton Jeanty, it might be the usage he has gotten already. There's a lot of wear and tear, a lot of tread on his tires before he even takes a snap in the NFL. That's something that teams might have a little bit of concern with, but he never really sustained any injuries at Boise State that I can remember. After these two picks by Kiper and Brugler, we had another duo go, and that is Lanze Zierlein and Matt Miller from NFL.com and ESPN, both selecting Colston Loveland out of Michigan. We've talked a lot about Tyler Warren, the Penn State tight end, but I think it's important that we get familiar with Loveland because there's a very good chance that, I would say very good, but there's a chance that Warren goes before the Broncos at 20. You and I, same spiel I gave for Jeanty, I'll give for Warren and Loveland. You and I don't know who's guaranteed to go where. Like, we know Abdul Carter's not going to fall to 20, so I won't waste our time with that. But all these three guys are very plausible to fall all the way to pick 20. So don't rule them out or cross them off your list because someone in the comment section said, waste of time, not going to be there at 20. Now, some background on Loveland. He is an elite separator. For his size and the speed, the guy runs like a gazelle, and he's got the separation ability of a wide receiver. And at 6'5", 245 pounds, that's a big target that Bo Nix can throw to. He unfortunately missed some time this past year for the Wolverines with a shoulder injury, so teams will definitely do a little bit of research on him when the combine gets here, but there are no major red flags surrounding Loveland at the moment. But the thing that really keeps coming back up when you talk about Colston Loveland, when you put on the tape, when you read about him, it's the separation ability. It's his instinct to find open pockets in the middle of the field. Does that remind you of anyone? Kind of reminds me of Travis Kelce. I'm not making the comp that Loveland's the next Kelce, but if you're looking for a tight end who, like Kelce, just has this knack of, while running his route, scanning the field, seeing what the defense is doing, and finding a big patch of grass and sitting there for Patrick Mahomes. Loveland gives me that type of vibe. I also think he's a great plan C. If plan A, which for me is Ashton Jeanty, and plan 1A or plan B is Tyler Warren, you can, interchange those two right there. Loveland is a terrific consolation prize. So I really don't think that if it falls to Loveland, oh crap, Denver missed out on their top two guys. This draft is not going to be that good. No, Denver's got three really good options at number 20. Before we look at the final piece of this mock draft roundup, I do want to give a shout out to Game Time. Game Time has an awesome feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. You see, Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only great deals so you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. One thing I really like about Game Time is their all-in pricing option. Toggling this feature shows the total upfront cost with no surprise fees at checkout. Plus, they offer the Game Time guarantee. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Last but not least, it is one of the NFL draft godfathers. It is Daniel Jeremiah, move the sticks, and he has the Broncos going with safety Nick Emmanwori. So let's get to know the guy who plays near Atlanta in South Carolina with the Gamecocks. Emmanwori is 6'3", 227 pounds. He looks like a linebacker. When you are next to him and when you watch him and when he gets to the combine, people are going to confuse him with the linebackers. But he moves like a safety, and to me, that screams a divisional foe, Derwin James, a player who has the build and the size of a linebacker, but the coverage ability of a corner. And that is a very nice chess piece for Vance Joseph to have on his defense. So from a player makeup standpoint, there's a lot to like about Emmanwori when it comes to his physical makeup and his profile. Last year for South Carolina, 88 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 6 pass breakups, 4 interceptions, including 2 pick sixes. So not only is he a really good physical safety, but he's got excellent ball skills as well. He was not burned a ton in coverage or anything like that. Gave up 200 yards in coverage this past year at USC, 24 completions on his watch. And you can look over his career numbers as well for South Carolina. 6 pass breakups, 4 interceptions, 2 touchdowns in 2024, coming off a 2-touchdown, 10 pass breakup campaign in 2023, compiling 6 interceptions in his career and 17 pass breakups in total. There's a lot to like about Emmanwori's game and his profile. I would personally wait on a safety. And this could be something that we look back at as what a gigantic mistake, because he's the next Kyle Hamilton, and we see how important he is to the Ravens defense. But I'm willing to take the chance on a good safety could be there for you in rounds 3 through 5 of the draft, because historically that is the case. Kirby Joseph, one of the best safeties in football this past year, 3rd round pick. Kevin Byard, Titans legend, 3rd round pick. Tyrann Mathieu, 3rd round pick. Our very own Justin Simmons, 3rd round pick. CJ Gardner-Johnson, 4th round pick. Eddie Jackson, who before he got a bunch of injuries was a pick 6 machine for Chicago, 4th round pick. Julian Love by the Giants, who's now in Seattle, 4th rounder. I can go on and on. You have an all-pro, Talona Hufanga for the 49ers, 5th round pick. There are a lot of good safeties that can be had in the middle portion of the draft. I would go with Texas' safety. Andrew, what's his name? Makuba. I rehearsed it 100 times. Andrew Makuba. I mean, someone who started his career off at Clemson, transferred over to Texas, and put together some really good plays when it came to his ball hawking skills. 5 interceptions. He had that one against Georgia where he just plucked it out of the air. He sealed the game for Texas against Arizona State in the college football playoff. There were concerns about whether or not he could be a good open field tackler. Nice 69 tackles this year. I think those concerns were put to bed. So Andrew Makuba would be my preferred target for round number 3. Before we sign off, if you enjoy NFL draft content, then this is the channel for you. I don't believe, and I can be proven wrong, and you can go ahead and try to do so, there is any other Broncos YouTube channel that covers the NFL draft for Denver as much as we do. So make sure you are subscribing. Click that button. It's completely free, and you'll be locked in with the best Broncos draft content all year long.